running scared, I was there, I remember it all too well. Hello, welcome to a Sunny Book Nook. My name is Sunny, I use they them pronouns, and I am a Swiftie. Today is the eve of Taylor Swift releasing Red, Taylor's version, and obviously you're going to be seeing this in the aftermath of the release, but I think that appropriately, because it is Scorpio season and Taylor Swift is a Scorpio rising and Mars, and Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and she's releasing Red in Scorpio season, that I give you some book recommendations appropriate for Scorpio season, just for Scorpios in general, and with people with Scorpio in their chart, and obviously everyone, but like, these are 12 books for each, house of the zodiac. 12 books that I think really work well with this scorpionic theme. So let's just get right into it. I'm going to link down below some of the articles that I was looking at just to refresh myself in terms of the characteristics of Scorpios and Scorpio placements and Scorpio season, and so that way I can sort of prove to you why the books that I'm recommending are appropriate for like Scorpios and Scorpio season. The first book that I want to recommend to you is I Love You, But I'm Choosing Darkness by Vaye Watkins. I think even this title gives very Scorpio vibes. First of all, Scorpio is a water sign and it's a fixed sign. So water signs are usually known to be emotional. Fixed signs tend to be stubborn and like resilient and unmovable, and if you want to learn more about the categories of fixed, mutable, or cardinal signs, that's another those are 3 different categories of separating the 12 zodiacs, the way that the water, earth, air, fire is 4 ways of separating the zodiac. You can, look that up, check it out. But since Scorpios are fixed and water signs, and they're ruled by Mars and Pluto, Scorpio as a sign is very dark and has a lot of sex appeal, has a lot of mystery involved, very, very private, but form these really intimate connections with people. So the reason why I think this book is a perfect book for Scorpio season is because it has so much to do with like darkness and this obsession. Well, okay, obsession is also another element of Scorpio season and being a Scorpio. And I think this book is all about the obsession with love and with pursuing something that is deviating from the norm, because we're following our main character, who is a woman who is an English professor who writes novels, and she's just released, I think, her 2nd or 3rd novel, and it's not going as well as, it's not being as critically acclaimed as her other books were, and she's a new mother, and she's in this relationship with her husband, but she also has a really complicated, dark history because her father was one of the recruiters for the Charles Manson cult. And so there's a lot of dark history there, and it's very much grounded in the Southwest and the history of the American Southwest. Basically, we see our main character as she kind of goes off the rails and gets into these adulterous relationships in the middle of like a semi-divorce maybe, and the way that she's living, she's just living life and in this really intense relationship. And there's descriptions of like sex and the body and intimacy in a way that I feel like is very Scorpio vibes. It's very dark and closed off, but also intimate. So I would definitely categorize this as a Scorpio book. The next book that I want to talk about is The Death of Jane Lawrence by Starling. This book has a gothic Victorian vibe, and it has a lot to do with death and ghosts and a haunted house, and I think all of those things very much are Scorpio to me, because Scorpios are, they're attached to sex and death in a way that most of the other signs like really are not. This book is also about a woman who is very driven, but she also has a really this really distinct intuition that guides her into this spirit realm, into dealing with the ghostly haunting. This is definitely a Scorpio book, in my opinion, and it's all about the intimacies of this woman's relationship to her husband and the mystery of their relationship. The next book I want to recommend as a Scorpio type of book is another Caitlin Starling novel, and this is a novella called Yellow Jessamine, and this book is all about obsession, jealousy, all-consuming love, and secret. It's all about secrecy, and it's so beautifully written and all about this woman in a sort of like, it's hard to put any of Caitlin Starling's books in a particular time period because they feel old, but they also feel present. This is about this woman who's basically like risen through the ranks of this city's government, and she is the only woman in this powerful position and role of society, and she is like a merchant, a lead merchant. There is this death and sickness that is creeping across the country, and she also is a person who sells herbs to the other high society women, and these herbs are poisons basically, and she can also like heal and do specific things because she has this really intimate knowledge of how to create death and life with her poison garden in the back of her large mansion house. And this entire time she's so consumed with all of those emotions that I was talking about, and it's so beautiful and amazing and all about desire and ambition and action. That is what Mars rules. So the next book I want to talk about is They Never Learn by Layne Fargo. This is a very Scorpio book to me because it's all about revenge. It's about this English professor woman who like every year picks out one man on her campus who is known to be a rapist or abuser or creep and kills him, but in a way that makes it seem like it was an accident, like who knows what happened, but she was the one behind it. And because she is so cunning and manipulative and emotionally in touch, but also shut off from so many people, and no one knows her secret except her, and she is, very defensive, and as she should be, as like a murderer in disguise, and she has so many things that she has to keep very close to her, and that she is, obsessed with, which is, obsession is a key characteristic of the Scorpio sign as well. So definitely They Never Learn, this is the thriller, and it's also sapphic. It's amazing. Oh, Yellow Jessamine is also sapphic, by the way. That is my 4th recommendation. My 5th book recommendation for Scorpio season is A History of My Brief Body by Billy Ray Belcourt. This book is a nonfiction sort of memoir, combination of like a queer theory type of book. We are reading from the perspective of a queer indigenous person and his experiences with in romance and life and death, and grappling with his history and the history of indigenous peoples, I think, in Canada. I think that this book has a lot of like fixed sign qualities, but it's also deeply emotional and very much rooted in his like sexual encounters and the ways that though that culture is sort of informed by his experiences and the way that he like navigates the world. So yeah, I think this is a very, very Scorpio book. The 6th book I'm going to talk about is another nonfiction book, and this is In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. And this is a memoir that sort of frames this woman's experience being in an abusive lesbian relationship in a very creative and also heartbreaking way, and it's all about the intimacy and power dynamics and struggle and hurt of love and this relationship and the abuse that she endured, and it's formatted in a way that sort of takes on a different genre or writing practice or theme for each of the different chapters. And yeah, it's very emotionally compelling, and again about relationships and desire and the way that ambition has shaped this writer's life. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think all of BookTube does too. Like, I've never seen a bad review of this book. It is truly phenomenal and very Scorpio coded. The next book I want to talk about is This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal, El-Mohtar, and Max. I always forget his last name. But this book is another sapphic lesbian love story, but it's this vaguely sci-fi sort of situation where there's an agent called Blue and an agent called Red, and Red, Taylor's version, and they write letters to each other, and they are working for two different sides of, like, the Time Wars, and their paths keep crossing, and that is just so Scorpio to me. Scorpios are just attracted to these situations of love. This book is all about the obsession of love and the way that they end up kind of going from this manipulative playing game situation to something that is so intense. And yeah, I think it's very, very Scorpio vibes. The next book I want to talk about is The Mars Room by Rachel Kushner. Mars is in the title, ruled by Mars. This book is about this women's prison in California, I'm pretty sure, and these different perspectives of the different women in this prison and their backgrounds, their experiences, and then also some other perspectives in the prison. I think this book is very Scorpio coded because, again, it deals a lot with grappling with, like, desire and action, and it has this really, like, dark and moody feeling. It's very Scorpio coded because it's all about the relationships that these people have with each other and the varying secrets and defenses that they keep up. And defensiveness is, like, one of the negative traits of Scorpios. The next book I want to recommend is Vacuum in the Dark by Jen Beagin. This book, I feel like, perfectly embodies Scorpio vibes because it's about this one woman's, like, sexual and romantic relationships with, like, 3 of her different clients. She's a cleaning lady in LA, I'm pretty sure. And so that is the exact crossover of, like, action and desire that Mars rules. And it is very water signy to me because it's all about the emotions that she feels in these weird experiences. And it also has this dark sort of tone, I think, that is like darkly humorous. And Scorpios are known to be, like, very funny. I think, I'm pretty sure, at least a lot of Scorpios I know in my life very much are, but they also have a sense of, like, reservation in a lot of how others, like, see them and how they approach life, and I think this book is very much about a character who does that. The next book I want to talk about is House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. This book is set by the sea and by the ocean, by, like, on this cliff, crashing waves, so, you know, water sign, there we go. But it's about these 12 sisters, and there's something dark going on, there's a romance going on, there's so much death, all of these sisters keep dying, so, you know, Scorpio's all about death, love, and weird, creepy things. So I think this book is a really good embodiment of that magic, mystical mysteriousness that Scorpios are known for. And that sort of, like, sexy, dark sort of situation that is also, like, truly horrifying in some ways. So visceral, like, it's very much, it was a dark and stormy night type of book. The next book I want to recommend as a Scorpio book is Pretty Girls by Karin Slaughter. It's a thriller, and it's all about these girls being murdered and killed, and there's these snuff porn films involved, and there's a lot of violence, but there's a lot of manipulation, there is a lot of intimate relationships, reconnecting with old, you know, people in your life, and Scorpios love to hold a grudge. And it's all about grudges and resentment and defensiveness and the ways that people hold things in until they can't. And manipulation and power. And obviously, like, sexual and romantic relationships. This book is very explicit, graphic, and terrifying, though, so just letting you know. I really do think it is a Scorpio book. And the last and 12th book I want to talk about as being very Scorpio-coded is Circe by Madeline Miller. This book is a retelling of the witch Circe, who is cast out by the gods, and she lives on an island surrounded by water, so again with the water sign thing. But she also has this magnetic sort of force and power that she cultivates, and because she has had to build up this defense of against the gods and their wrath, and because she has had to live you know, basically alone on this island with her child, and it is just, I think it's very Scorpio coded. And also when I was doing some looking up for this video, I think this book was on some library's list of like Scorpio season type books. Those are all of the book recommendations I have for Scorpio season. Let me know if you think I got these right. I hope my explanations weren't like too repetitive, or I feel like I was using a lot of the same words, but there's only so few words that are used to describe each Scorpio, or each zodiac sign, I guess. But anyway, let me know if you want to see more videos that are like book recommendations for each zodiac sign. I like the format of the 12 different books for, you know, each of the 12 zodiacs and also each of the 12 houses. But yeah, let me know. I would definitely be interested in curating more lists like this, because I love astrology, I love books, and I love Taylor Swift. Stream, read Taylor's version. That is all I have for you today. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you think and whether I should continue with this series, and whether you think I got these right, if you read any of them. And also let me know what your astrological sign is. I'm interested. I'm very interested. Oh, I'm a Cancer, by the way. I'm a Cancer, so I'm also a water sign baby. Like, I love my Scorpios, but also Scorpios have fucked me over, so it's a toss-up. It's really a toss-up in every pairing. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. Like, subscribe, you know, all that. And I'll see you in my next video.